Once in a land far, far away, there lived a flower called Solu. He waited months to go through the process of pollination and fertilization, but he prefers not to self-pollinate because it's weird. One night he wished upon a star, and then a bee appeared. It brought pollen from another flower's anther. The bee placed the pollen on the stigma. Though this is a female component, Solu liked to think of himself as a guy. The pollen germinates into a pollen tube and grows down the carpel. Someone should really tell him he's part female.
I heard that!
So, the pollen tube enters the ovary and the sperm combines with the egg and forms a zygote. This eventually becomes a seed.
Here's a dicot seed named Tingaleo. She is a seed coat that helps keep everything safe inside of the seed, a micropyle that allows water to enter the seed, two cotyledons that supply the young Tingaleo with energy, a root apex that will turn into the radicle, and a shoot apex that will turn into the plumule.
Tingaleo is a starchy seed who needs to germinate. She needs water, oxygen, and suitable temperatures so that her enzymes can metabolize food stores. If Tingaleo had extra requirements, she might also need smoke or a low pH. First, Tingaleo absorbs water to rehydrate. Next, she produces gibberellic acid, which triggers the production of amylase. Amylase catalyzes the hydrolysis of starch into maltose, which diffuses into the embryo passively and is transported to the shoot apex and root tip. Maltose provides energy through cellular respiration for growth of the embryo.
One day, Tingaleo meets her monocot friend called Olu, which made her remember Solu, the dicot. Clearly, Tingaleo's imagination is not accurate. Solu had quite a life. He was pretty, which attracted the bee to him. He had sepals to protect him when he was growing up. He had filaments and anthers, which had pollen. He also had the female parts to help in fertilization, like the stigma, style, and ovary. He was the complete package. Now, to Tingaleo, they seemed the same. But you see, they were quite different. Solu had 5 petals, while Olu had 3. Olu has only 1 cotyledon, whereas Solu had 2, and Solu had a taproot, while Olu had fibrous root.
Tingaleo's cuticle and upper epidermis protect the plant. The xylem brings water to the leaves. The phloem carries products of photosynthesis to the rest of Tingaleo. The palisade mesophyll contains many chloroplasts to carry out photosynthesis. Her spongy mesophyll has air spaces called stoma for gas exchange through guard cells. Tingaleo may have modifications allowing her to grow in varied environments. These modifications are why plants occur in most all environments on Earth. Stem tubers are stem modifications for carbohydrate storage. Tendrils are leaf modifications for support and climbing to reach more sunlight.
As Tingaleo ages, she will grow from her apical and lateral meristems. When she grows from her apical meristems, she grows both lateral and vertical stems. As much as she hates to admit it, every year she gets thicker from her lateral meristem growth. Many animals walk past Tingaleo thinking that she does not move, but they're wrong. As the sun moves around her, auxin, one of her hormones, allows her to bend in the direction of the sun. Auxin is a component of positive phototropism.
Now to the roots. The main function of the root is to uptake of mineral ion and water from the soil. This is efficient due to branching roots and root hairs that increase surface area. Water moves from the soil and into the root by osmosis, allowing for mineral uptake. Diffusion of mineral ions may occur if the soil has a higher ion concentration. Another form of mineral ion uptake is through mutualistic relationship between some roots and fungal hyphae. Also, transport proteins can actively pump minerals into the roots. Roots have an endodermis, an epidermis, a cortex, a phloem, and a xylem.
Hey, don't forget about active translocation. Sugars enter the sieve tube at the source, reducing the relative water concentration in the sieve tube, resulting in osmosis from surrounding cells. An increase in pressure in the sieve tube results in a flow of phloem sap. A decrease in pressure results in removal of sugar from the sieve tube to the sink. Sugars are changed into starch in the sink as an energy storage.
Oh no, Tingaleo is wilting. I'll give her some water. Once water has been taken up by the roots, it is pulled upwards through the xylem tubes by cohesion of water molecules and adhesion to the walls of the xylem. Evaporation from the leaves causes more water from the roots to be pulled upwards through the xylem tubes, called the transpiration pull. This transpiration stream occurs in the xylem, whose cell walls are broken down to form a continuous tube. Because of high temperatures, low humidity, wind, and sunlight, plants are transpiring a lot today. Plants, unlike Tingaleo, have spines, thickened cuticles, sunken in stomata, or fewer stomata to limit transpiration. Terrestrial plants have thickened cellulose, cell turnover pressure, to keep the plant upright, as well as lignified cells for increased pressure. Hey look! At Tingaleo.
Now to Tingaleo's guard cells that regulate transpiration by opening and closing stomata. Abscisic acid aids in closing the stomata.
Light is an important factor for a plant. Plants have phytochrome, which are blue-green pigments that control flowering. Red light causes the inactive phytochrome to become active quickly during the day and inactive at night when far red light is present. With long-day plants, the active phytochrome causes flowering only during the short nights. However, in short-day plants, the active phytochrome acts as an inhibitor for flowering.